In Module 2, we'll be looking at adult learners, learning theories, and instructional design models. Now, how do these three things come together and why are they introduced in a course on instructional design? Now, you are all preparing to become instructional designers and you're going to be designing courses for adult learners. Adult learners, think of yourselves, are very different from school children. The way you learn, why you learn, how you learn, what motivates you to learn are all very different from what motivates a child in school to learn. So, to make your training interesting and applicable to your audience, you need to know something about the learners themselves. So, the readings under adult learners will be looking at aging and culture. With the adult learner population, it's very important to be cognizant of the effects of aging, just physiological aging, and how that impacts learning, cultural effects on learning, and then broader question of what motivates adult learners to learn. And then how are you going to train older workers? Because remember now, the baby boomers are the biggest population and they are still in the workforce, although they are retiring. They are still in the workforce. Retirement age is being pushed back, so you're going to see a lot of people from the older generations who are still in the workforce, and they will need a lot of training and retraining. So you need to know how to work with older workers, and that's where this piece on adult learners comes in. Okay, so now once you understand your learners themselves, what are the learning theories that are going to help you design your courses? So now in the program of administrative leadership, you will come across a lot of learning theories. This particular course, we're keeping it very specific to instructional design, so it's not a very broad look at all learning theories. We're just looking at a few of them. Now, the reading on systems theory will give you this concept of approaching any problem from a broader perspective. So if I'm designing a course, it's not just the course that matters. It's not just the content and how I put it to my learners. There are a lot of extra external forces that impact the design of a course, and systems theory makes you look at any situation from a larger systems perspective. Everything works within a system and you're going to look at the system as such. Learning theory gives you a brief overview of two or three theories, starting with behaviorism and then social cognitive theory. And this particular reading, what it does is not only does it introduce the theory, but it also connects to how that theory will translate into instructional design. So you have this learning theory, but if you wanted to apply it into instructional design, how does it translate over? And then we're going to look at comparing theories, three major theories: behaviorism, constructivism, and connectivism. And you're going to look at what is the difference between those three theories. When you look at learning theories, like I said, there are a number of theories and sometimes it's easy to get overwhelmed. This gives you a snapshot of what is the difference between them. And finally, we come to ID models or instructional design models. There are, again, as many ID models as there are learning theories. People are always trying something new. So the first reading, ID models, is a very short, simple overview of the different ID models that are out there. It is not exhaustive by any means, but it gives you an idea of the more established ID models. So we look at ADDIE, and I think we have Dick and Carey model. So it gives you, we have SAM, rapid prototyping, and it gives you a brief look at those models. I also included a couple of readings on more recent ID models that have been proposed. One is the 4C ID model or the 4-component ID model, and then there's the other one that is the emergent models, and finally we look at eclectical instructional design. Now, when you're looking at ID models and think about how they differ from each other, and the first reading ID models does quite a nice job of giving you a very quick look at what are the differences between these between the approaches and ID models. You might find that all of them share certain common characteristics, and those common elements will boil down usually to ADDIE, where you have the analysis, design, development, implementation, and evaluation phases. This is the most basic instructional design model, and other models add on to this, put this model, they reinterpret this model in different ways, and but it finally comes down to these 5 components. So it's important for you to understand the ADDIE model well, because a lot of instructional design organizations expect you to know that. That will be a part of your interview process. If you look at job specifications on job postings, you'll find them asking you about the ADDIE model. So to give you an understanding of that, I've also added videos on the ADDIE model, which are quick videos, but it does a really good job of contextualizing ADDIE into real life terms. So it should give you a perspective of, oh, okay, this is how it applies and plays out in real life. And so that's how these 3 areas come together in this particular module.